You ready? Here we go.
Nah!
Welcome to the HORDERCAST Live. We are back once again. This weekend, we are celebrating, of course, the House of Crazies that are going to be playing in Detroit at St. Andrews Hall next weekend. We got one of the acts that are going to be there with us today. Natural Born Killers, welcome on the show, guys. Be
What's up?
Sinister, I know we've had you on before. Staples, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dude,
Appreciate you guys.
we appreciate your time, for real. We really do. First off, you guys known each other a long time, so we don't really have to get into all that.
Over 20 years.
Yeah,
How long,
exactly.
V?
But I
How
would
long
like
did
to
you say,
know.
V?
Let's say how long? Over 20 years. 2000. Yeah. No, actually, yeah.
Yeah, easy over 20 years. Easy over 20. We're talking over, I think, 25 years, V.
Jesus. That's a long time.
About 22 years. 22 years.
I mean, late 90s, right?
Well, I was in Kansas in the late 90s.
Right. And
Yeah, late 99 from active duty, and then so 2000. Yeah, but still, that's shit. 24. All right,
years.
24 years. 24 years. 1 year off.
that's a long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
Solid long friendship there, man. So Staples, you probably got in with Bedlam doing what you was doing before well, I know V Sinister, you're probably doing whatever you was doing, but I mean he was probably like stirring his pot a little sooner, right?
Since 91. Yep.
Yeah. And then I was just curious just to hear from your own words. I mean, how did you get into the horrorcore scene and you know, how did that just for a history lesson, the people that don't know, how did you get into what you do, man?
I will.
For me,
oh, yeah, Adam
me
or
or V?
Yeah, Staples yourself, yeah.
Okay, that's what V will steal the show if I don't speak up. So I had to make sure
I'm gonna
that
keep it short. I'm gonna keep it short.
I'm just fucking with you. For me, man, it was. So I've just always been a fan since the Esham days, and my cousin Kurt D, Madness. He was doing KGP, before I was even thinking about being in the group. So he kind of was setting the stage then for Bedlam in general. That's what's kind of so cool about this show, man, is that, I was at the show when KGP opened up for HOK at St. Andrews back in 94, was it? I think 94 or 96, one of the two. It was back then. Big epic show in the history of the Wicked shit. You guys probably already know. Eminem was there. Eminem opened up at that show. There's some YouTube clips out there. It's the infamous flyer show. ICP was there up in the balcony at St. Andrews Hall. But that's what's so cool about going back and do, because that show, I mean, Bedlam wasn't even a thing back then, but just being there kind of set me up for wanting to do the Wicked shit, just being in the crowd. So we did. So Madness was still doing KGP, but not that much. So Bedlam kind of started at first as a bit of a side project, but turned into, full blown, project between me, Madness, and Prozac. And we were lucky enough, to get the boost. So our first album was produced by ROC. So we had that going for us, and we just hustled the fuck out of it and made good music and had fun. That was probably the biggest thing. I mean, I believe that shined through for us live, is that we really enjoyed performing, and everybody, you could be in the crowd and you saw it and you watched us perform and you knew we enjoyed it, and it made for a good show. But, back, I would say, so this is probably around 98, 99, that Bedlam started, but it was literally as easy as Kurt D, my cousin, coming up to me and saying, "Hey man, you want to rap? You want to do this? You want to be in the group?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah." I've been waiting for this opportunity. So, I don't think I was 21 yet, but, we started playing a lot of bars and shit like that around Saginaw and obviously Detroit and Toledo area. And we just toured the fuck out of it, and I fell in love with it, man. I fell in love with performing. I fell in love with making music. I fell in love with the underground. And, you know, here I am over 25 years later, you know, doing it with one of my best friends, man. And so it's dope. It's dope.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate you, man. I mean, your energy back then, you were the off the wall guy. Like you were like a bouncy ball in that group, dude. Like the
Yeah.
energy you had, it was amazing, dude.
What's up,
And
Body Rock?
yeah, Body Rock from the Michigan Misfits. What up, man? Good to see you here, man. Appreciate you. I know he was working tonight, so that's nice of him to hang out. V,
What's up?
man, I know we've had John a couple times, man, but if you want to go ahead and briefly set it up and knock him down, how'd you guys get to where you're at now? I know that a little bit had to do with the Gathering 2002, which we covered a lot, but go ahead, man.
All right. Talking about where we're at right now, currently with NBK.
Yeah, to where you're at now. How you guys set this all up?
All right, it started in 2004. Former manager Jody Little, may he rest in peace. He was talking to Psycho of Insane Poetry and Menacide, may he rest in peace, about doing a side project called Natural Born Killers. And he asked me, did I want to get up? And I'm like, I don't know, because at the time I was focusing on Morningstar Soul of the Beast. But I was like, well, I'll give it a shot and everything. So we tried to get a few things together. It wasn't quite gelling. And then Defect came into the fold because on my album, Soul of the Beast, there's a song on there called 0 Hour. So if you listen to that song, that's probably the root of NBK right there. It featured Jay Reno, Defect, and me. And then when we finally got some kind of idea to kill, we had a contest like, all right, let's try to get a fourth member. And then a lot of people submitted their verses. We listened to the tracks. There was Bloodshot, Class, a few other people. I think they're not doing music no more, but the one that definitely stood out was Class. I listened to it. I was like, whoa, what the hell is this? So it was to a revision of what I did with Dre's Natural Born Killers. It was me, Reno, and Class had the last verse. So we went there, and Class was cranking them out back then. But again, it wasn't like anything it is right now where people got their own home studios. You could probably turn on a faucet and make music. Back then, you had to put a lot more effort into it. So trying to get the group going, it was a lot of false start and stops. And we had a few things going with Reno, Class, me, and Steve had to step out for a second. Defect. My bad, Steve, if you're watching this. I just know you by your real name. Anyway, years passed, ended up leaving Deviant Entertainment and going on my own, but I didn't want to give Natural Born Killers up. So I kept that going. By then, Menacide when it did his thing, Psycho when it did his thing, but it was me, Reno, Class, Defect, and Ghetto Devil. So I put together a track called Make You Scream that featured Class and Ghetto Devil on there. And we was trying to get the first Natural Born Killer album done, but again, it was just stuff here, there, a lot of underground stuff going on, and we couldn't get it quite together. So some time passed. Fast forward to the year 2015, I want to say 15 or 16. Reno featured me on his album. It was Welcome Back or something like that after he took a long hiatus. He featured me on there, and he also featured Class too. Then we got to talking. He was thinking about trying to get NBK back together, and I was like, all right, cool, because at that time I was semi-retired because I was just doing fitness and wasn't thinking about music then. So he submitted
Hang on,
a track.
V.
Huh?
Hang on one second. You got your TV on, man?
Mine?
Yeah.
No, that's somebody else's TV. Yeah, what's playing in the background ain't mine. That's something else.
Okay.
My TV's all the way
V,
back.
I'm just checking because V's notorious for doing that. But okay, go ahead, man.
Nope, that
I
ain't
just
my
hear
TV.
something going.
But in
Yeah, I
any
hear
event,
something going too.
Yeah, so fast forward, Reno gave us a beat, and we was trying to put NBK back together because it was the Gathering 2017. Me and Class was there. I want to say, who was it? Big Hoodoo was on stage, and he played Natural Born Killer beat, and me and Class was standing there watching them, and we was just like, man, we should get NBK back together because we could have rocked this stage with that because we done it already. And I was like, okay, so we got to talking. Nothing came around again because back then my foot was halfway in the door, halfway out. Like I want to do music and I didn't want to do music. But fast forward to where we at right now, 2020. So there was, again, a lot of false starts, a lot of this and that, a lot of unreleased NBK tracks, or I should say verses. But to where we at right now, starting with Covenant of Blood, it was 2020. That was when I decided to bring my foot all the way in the door and not keep it halfway out. We re-Christian Area 51 Music to Stormrook Entertainment and just went all in. And after we got through doing the Haunted Fears, kind of my reintroduction back in after a long hiatus. I mean, first it was Great Stairwell, but then it was a hiatus again. 2020, Haunted Fear 3. Then I thought about it like, you know what, we should try Natural Born Killers again. And Adam, if anything, is kind of, no, he ain't the baby of the group. He's the toddler of the group, technically, Adam. But he put it down, though. I'm going to explain why. Because 2020 was when we was trying to get NBK back together. I talked to Steve about it. He was kind of on the fence, but he was like, okay. And I was like, let me try to get Reno. Nah. And Class was, and he was kind of iffy about it and everything. I guess they wanted to see would it work first. So what happened, the original lineup for Covenant of Blood was supposed to be me, Boomham, Adam, Class, Andre Chikatilo, Jay Reno, Richard Kuklinski, and Defect, Ed Kemper. But then, like I said, it was a whole lot of stuff going on. So I almost forgot McNasty, Carl Grossman. Yeah, Carl Grossman. So a whole lot was going on. They wasn't able to make that album, and it came down to me, Helm, and Kemper, and then Carl Grossman pulled up the rear with the Grand Canal. Now, go ahead. Oh,
I didn't say nothing, but I will add to it that we did. Yeah. So we did that album. I think there was, it's an EP. I think there's 4 or 5 songs or something on
just
that.
4.
But we did that in a week.
Yeah, we were trying to test the waters there.
Concept to like, and maybe that ain't a lot for some folks that do music and I guess have the luxury of just doing it nonstop, all day long. But for us, that was tough with day to days, and we got that motherfucker done in a week, and it was dope.
Oh yeah,
it was dope too.
So then after we got Covenant of Blood done, I was like, okay, like the way this sounded, what have you. So a couple years passed because Covenant of Blood was 2020. So no, actually the following year, following Halloween, I went to the gathering and was talking to a few people there. I talked to, I want to say McNasty was there. Talked to Frank Nitty from Project Born. He's Ted Bundy. Talked to Class again. And I think that's everybody that makes a return of the Master Killer. So I told him this time, hey, this it. We finna do it. Serious this time. You see, we came out with Covenant of Blood. This time we're going to do it. And this time it went a little bit better. It was still like pulling teeth, but yeah, this time it went a little bit smoother. So we got all the tracks together, and I remember that time because I think it was it was October, the week of Devil's Night, or it's like a week and some change away from when the album had to be turned in. Had to explain to my boss that, yeah, I cannot come in and work tomorrow because I got to get this done because I'm on a deadline. I got to turn this in to get mastered or what have you. So she let me take that day off or what have you just to get Natural Born Killers done. We got that done. That one featured, again, Class, McNasty, Frank Nitty, Adam, Defect, and me. Oh, also, I want to say it had beats from James Alias from Streets Maestro. We call him John Muhammad, and also from Jay Reno, Richard Kuklinski. And also the intro was done by Christy Thomas, who's Krista Gilbert. And you notice all these are serial killer names. Even if you're doing production or anything, you add anything to NBK, you get a serial killer name. So she did an intro and an outro. And we also got Lex the Hex Master on there as Jim Jones. So it didn't stop there, but
V was also banging his boss. The one that let him take the day off.
Hey. Well, I wasn't. Hey.
I'm just fucking with him. I had to add that to stress him out.
Hey. Anyway.
Good shit.
Anyway, moving on. We planned on doing a third and final release. Maybe I called it final. The guys might still want to do more than anything, but I figured, okay, NBK could only go so far because we're talking about killing. How far can you talk about killing and torture, what have you? But we decided to go a little bit extreme with it. There's an album, a forthcoming album, full album, not an EP or maxi single, whatever. It's called The Brotherhood of Satan. And we're already working on a couple singles. Want to get those singles out around the time we got the show done. But when you got an ensemble cast of people, and now the lineup this time around is it's me, Zodiac Killer, Adam Boonham, Defect, Ed Kemper, McNasty, Carl Grossman Class, Andre Chikatilo, Ted Bundy, Frank Nitty, and also coming in for Spitting 2, Jay Reno, Richard Kuklinski, Gruesome, Ted Gein, hopefully Bloodshot. We'll see. Hopefully though, Bloodshot as Charles Starkweather and Smalls one as Carol Fugate, and we gonna see what happens. Like I'll say that right now, but as far as a release date for it though, we'll see what happens. I won't take the time with this to make sure that it's done right, because if this is gonna be the last NBK album, we got to go out with a bang. So it's got to be done.
There's
right.
a lot of cooks in the kitchen, man. There's a
Yeah.
lot of cooks in the kitchen.
Sounds
which
like
is dope, which I think is so dope about it, because when has that been done in the Wicked shit? It's been close to being done, but when you have as many people as like V just named out, it really hasn't been. But there's a core group of us, me, V, Defect, Carl Grossman, 3 or 4 of us that's the core group that will make up the majority of the album, and we'll just try to throw people on, as features that are technically part of the group, as well. But as far as live shows go, and like the core of what the album is and who's the concepts and things like that will likely come from the 3 or 4 of us. But it's kind of morphing into its own. Again, it was a bit of a side project at first, but I think it's kind of morphing into its own living, breathing group as well, which is dope, man. And it's cool to see
you guys
so many people on it.
When you guys got hit up for Fright Fest, did they ask for you guys specifically, or was it like, did they hit you up, V, and you was like, man, I want to do NBK?
It was a lot of going back and forth. I ended up talking to the showrunner, was able to get a few things going, and basically suggested, why don't we bring NBK there because of the ensemble cast and the names in it. And after waiting for a little bit, because they had to get the show together and get all the pieces in place, I got the call. Well, I actually got the message that, hey, NBK is good to go and everything, so do what you got to do to get it ready. Y'all have X amount of time. Y'all can do this and do that. And once I got the message, I kind of prepped NBK already, like, if we could get on this show, who'd be willing to do it and what have you. So we got all those pieces in place and we're ready to rock.
Hell yeah. I talked to McNasty like 2 days ago. I was like, man, I didn't know you were in this group. He's like, oh yeah, I've done a few songs. And I was like, that's cool as fuck, man. Because we've had him on the show a couple times.
Yeah, he's all over Return to Master Killers and on Grand Canale for Covenant of Blood.
Yeah, man. And you guys were
Brotherhood of Satan too.
And you guys were both finalists at the 2002 gathering.
Yeah, hey.
He shared that picture with me. The picture you guys took backstage, he shared that with me, dude.
Oh, he got that picture?
Yeah, of you guys. You're in the back, and McNasty's in front of you, and the other 2 guys are sitting there posing on the side. Yeah.
Really?
He's got, yeah, dude. He sent it to me in Messenger. Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. It's pretty.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. I ain't seen that. Damn, it's been some. I don't have nothing from back then. Like I lost a whole lot trying to get to this point. That's why I stay in one spot so I don't lose anymore. Because I don't got none of my military stuff except my rank, DD 214, and stuff from Ghetto Records. James has all that. I've lost a lot, and even around the Fallen and Deviant area, I lost a whole lot except maybe the master CDs of all the stem separations for some albums I was working on, and those are in storage.
I see you're working on your comic book a lot.
Yeah, matter of fact, that's what I was doing before the podcast came up. Oh, I should say the HORDERCAST came up. I was
But yeah,
working on
man.
that. Yeah.
Go ahead and plug that, man. Let us know what's going on with it real quick.
All right. This one I know I'll keep short because I'm still trying to get it together. All right, starting from the top. Let me plug my comic book first. Soldier Blade. That's part of what Stonework Entertainment is doing right now. I finished the pencils to the first issue. I'm already underway scripting the second issue. I'm going to lay the inks to it soon. But the way Stonework works is we look at what's priority and what's immediately coming up that could be beneficial to the story moving forward. So that's what we're working on. So Soldier Blade kind of took a step down because right now, and this still dealing with the comic books, is NBK because we got the show not this Tuesday but next Tuesday. And on top of that, there's a draw off that I'm in. It's part of Rob. Y'all know who Rob Liefeld is, right?
I don't.
Okay, you don't? Okay, let me try. Y'all know who Deadpool is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody know who Deadpool is. Y'all know.
Right.
I know who Gordon Lightfoot is.
Huh?
I know who Gordon Lightfoot is.
Gordon Lightfoot?
Yep.
All right, I must have missed that one. But Deadpool, yeah, Rob Liefeld is the creator of Deadpool, X-Force, Cable. He's
Nice.
also, you heard of Image Comics?
Yeah.
Yeah,
From the 90s?
Yeah, he's the founder of Image Comics. He was the first one, put out Youngblood #1, and then the following month after that came Spawn, then Wildcats and everything. But Rob Liefeld is essentially the root reason and catalyst why you had things like The Walking Dead, Invincible, Spawn new movie coming out, and a lot of other stuff because Rob Liefeld was the first one. Then other 6 artists followed him and created Image, and there you go. Well, what I was getting at with the draw off that I'm in his group is he's coming back with Youngblood. It's been a decade or more since he worked on Youngblood. He's bringing it back, and they have weekly, bi-weekly, sometimes tri-weekly things called a draw off, and they would select the extreme or any character that Rob Liefeld worked on or created. The artists in that group get together and they just draw their interpretation of it. Winner gets to pick the next entry for the draw off. And I forgot who won it last week because it was a character called Cougar that we had to do. But another guy won it. He picked Youngblood because Rob Liefeld's bringing Youngblood back, and everybody was excited about doing Youngblood. So that's the entry right there. So we essentially had 3 weeks to get that draw off done. I'm working on that right now, and I got a few things I put on my page as far as what I'm going to enter, but it's a real big entry that I'm putting into the contest and was working on that. But that's the plug for Rob Liefeld. Also, I want to say too that Rob Liefeld came by my page and took a look at, because I do everything in layers. I do thumbnails, layouts, pencils, inks, and so on. I put the layouts on my page for the first iteration of Youngblood I was doing, and I was like, yeah, I kind of didn't like that. Something was off about it. I was going to do it again. Woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning one night because I had to get up and finish working on layouts to get those done. I took a look on Facebook just to see what was going on, and I looked, and I was like, hold on, am I dreaming? Had to rub my eyes and see, and I seen that it said Rob Liefeld liked your post and everything. I was like, oh, word?
Hell yeah.
Or Deadpool like my post and everything. So I informed a lot of people about that. A lot of buzz and everybody excited about Rob Liefeld liking it. I mean, I know it seemed trivial, but to put it the equivalent like this to make it more understandable is like an amateur boxer. Amateur boxer in the gym, they trying to perfect their technique, craft. They in the ring sparring. Somebody videotapes him so that way he can look back at his tape, try to pick apart his technique and get better and improve. And he puts that videotape of him just sparring in the ring and everything just to get better at his technique. He put it online, posted, and somebody like Mike Tyson or Lennox Lewis or Roy Jones coming along liking that post. That's the same equivalent right there. So the creator of Deadpool and image and everything coming along like him, drawing I did means that he got eyes on what I'm doing. So I'm trying to make sure that I use that opportunity to do something awesome with this thing. So between NBK and Young Blood, I'm just going back and forth. 1 week, I'm going back and forth with Adam and Defect about when you gonna have a show set. V, come on, time's ticking, clock, TikTok, you gotta have that ready. I'm like, I'm getting it ready, but I'm working on that. I'm working on Young Blood. I'm working on that. I'm working on Young Blood because they're both due the same day. Oh, is that?
That's killer. That's our Alleygeist.
Oh, okay, because I'm thinking, I thought we couldn't make it today, but no, never mind. That was something else. Anyway, yeah, both of those things. The show is the 29th, St. Andrews Hall, HOK show, but also the draw off is due the morning of and what have you. And I've seen a couple entries. I'm like, okay, this is some stiff competition, but it's because Rob Liefeld, again, is bringing back Young Blood. He's tapping artists. He already got a few artists lined up and inkers and everything to work on some books he got working on. But the one thing I know, I want to give a shout out to my homeboy Raymond Leonard. He has a book called Solo that he's worked on, and he had a GoFundMe for Solo when it first came out, maybe a few years ago. He was trying to get backers for it, and he actually got it out. He got a YouTube channel, Solo Raymond Leonard. And when I first joined Rob Liefeld's Extreme Image Marvel and Beyond group, he was talking about it, and Rob Liefeld came in there and shared an image that he did of Raymond Leonard's character, Solo. He drew Solo, color, everything. He said he ain't know if Raymond was going to use that. I imagine he did because Rob Liefeld drew it. I know I would if it was my superheroes and what have you. So there, I mean, it's a whole new crop of artists, inkers, writers, colorists, everything. And I'm pretty sure Rob Liefeld is going to be tapping a lot of people because he brought out a book a couple years ago, Brigade 30th Anniversary issue, and he tapped a lot of artists to work on that book. I didn't know it at the time. I came into it too late, but he tapped a lot of artists. Raymond Leonard was one of them that worked on the book, and I'm like, okay, yeah, Raymond Leonard doing this thing, what have you. So I'm going to spend a few years trying to tighten down my artwork because there was a point in time where I almost got picked up by Image in 99, but I was my own worst enemy and didn't stay focused. Long time ago, here we are now. I'm focused now. Like I said, when I get off this call, no matter how late it is, I'm going to get one more page done and then wake up in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, get the last page done, then get ready for work, come home and get ready some more and work on NBK too. I'm like just going back and forth. As far as comics though, Young Blood, I'm working on that. If y'all come to my page, I'll put up the finishes, everything within by the end of this week before the NBK show. I'm also working on submission portfolio because I'm not sure if y'all familiar with EC Comics. Y'all ever heard of them?
I'm not familiar with them.
But you heard, Killer, you heard them? Because I see you nodding your head a little bit. So y'all familiar with Tales from the Crypt?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, there you hey, same thing with Rock.
That's right away.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, Haunt of Fear. Well, it was a company back in the 50s. They were horrorcore and wicked shit before horrorcore and wicked shit was even before Esham and the present people were born. This was back in the 50s. They came out with Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, Haunt of Fear, and I stumbled upon them via Creep Show. First, I seen Creep Show, read about the history, Stephen King, George Romero, fans of the EC Comics, and this was back in like 88, 89, and I was like, okay, I got to see what is this all about? Tales from the Crypt and what have you, inspired Creep Show. So I went to my comic book shop, Coy's Comics, back in 88, and then I went in there and they had like a big comic book version of Tales from the Crypt, double book thing you could buy for I think $5 at the time. I went and picked up Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, instantly hooked. I was like, oh, this is what inspired Creep Show. This was back in the 50s. They had stories like All Through the House, The Man Who Was Death, cutting cards and everything. And the one that I got had the origin of the Crypt Keeper on there and a bunch of other stories too. So I would say, as far as comic books, that's what influenced me to get into comic books, with Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, and Haunt of Fear. So bringing it back to the present day, those comic books ended in 1954 because of Senate congressional hearings, parents witch hunting, blaming juvenile delinquency on comic books and the ills of America, along with McCarthyism and all that. So years passed, years went by. Well, I ain't gonna say years, decades went by. So here we are in 2024, and I think there's a company called Omnipress. They end up getting the EC license brand from Kathy Gaines Mifsud. She's the daughter of the founder of Entertaining Comics, and she's on my page too. We went back and forth and talked a lot and everything. So I was doing a little reading, and then I seen Epitaphs of the Abyss. I'm like, okay, what is this? So I read it up, and I was like, okay, that's the new age 2020s Tales from the Crypt now. So if y'all fans of Tales from the Crypt, whatever, I suggest y'all pick that up. Epitaphs of the Abyss has got a new host in there called The Grave Digger. I've seen two other people, but the two books I got only shows The Grave Digger and not the other two hosts. But this is where I come in. So I seen that, I was like, okay, I should give this a shot, because it's like the old EC comics. The old EC comics were drawn by a variety of artists. They had the main artists on there, like Tales from the Crypt was helmed by Jack Davis, Vault of Horror by Johnny Craig, Haunt of Fear by Graham Ingalls. It was always 4 stories per issue, but Jack, Johnny, and Graham took the lead stories, and then the other 3 followed by various artists. Maybe Jack came in, Al Williamson, Reed Crandall, Joe Orlando, George Evans, Bernard Krigstein, a plethora of different artists. But it was always those 3, Jack, Johnny, and Graham, that took the lead stories in each respective magazine. So this time around, I picked up Epitaphs from the Abyss, and it looked like it's 4 stories up in there, and it's a variety of artists again, like it was back in the 50s. And I'm like, okay, so if they got a variety of artists and they're bringing out the EC count, you know what? I missed my chance of getting the Tales from the Crypt by eons, because I wasn't in the 50s. Matter of fact, my mom was born around the heyday of Tales from the Crypt. That's how old it was. May she rest in peace. But here it is now, 2024. EC making a revival through Omnipress with Epitaphs from the Abyss. And they got some other titles on there too, but my main interest right now is Epitaphs from the Abyss, because it's the closest to Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, Haunt of Fear I'm gonna get. So I'm working on a submission, and I asked people on my personal page and a V Sinister page. I'm submitting something to Epitaphs from the Abyss. I got 2 stories. I think one of them was called Lights Out, and the other one was Separated by Death. Which do y'all think I should do? Overwhelming vote was separated at death. So I got the pencil. I got the layouts done for that, and all I got to do is just sit at my A2 light board, throw paper on there, light and the layouts, and get the going. But before I do that, I got to get Youngblood done. So that's the one thing I'm working on. Epitaphs from the Abyss submission, and also I'm trying to get in Creepshow too. Creepshow by Greg Berlanti. Y'all know Creepshow. Well, it's not just a movie, it's also a comic book. Matter of fact, hold on.
Yeah, it's a series on Shudder.
1 second.
I think he's locking up.
What?
His camera can't keep up.
No, he moves very quickly.
Overloading it with his. It's like drinking from a fire hose.
About that. For the people, what I'm talking.
First porta potty you've ever seen.
What's that? Was that for me? I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have you.
Harvester's question, but we always ask, what's the worst porta potty you've ever seen?
Potty. Yeah, the worst porta potty.
The worst porta potty.
Yeah.
Fuck, you know what? I played at a softball tournament yesterday, and there's some pretty fucked up ones there. But, man, I'd have to say it was a reggae fest back in the day, back in early. Well, no, not early. It had to have been about mid-'90s that I went to. That was in a place not far from here called Mount Pleasant. Way out in the country. No running water for miles. And
those festival shits be bad.
thousands of people that were all fucked up on all kinds
drug shits.
all kinds of drugs, so drug shits
Piled.
over the place. Yeah, that was probably the worst porta potties I've ever seen.
Nice.
There's no good ones though, really, is there? I mean, I guess you could get
Oh,
lucky
yeah.
here, but
He's back.
there
I
he
don't
is.
know what that was about. The moment I showed whatever creep show, it just said, yeah, you ain't showing shit. So let's try that one more time so I can end it and then let y'all continue.
No spoilers.
That's Epitaph from the Abyss. EC comic, image comic right here by Skybound Entertainment, which also puts out Walking Dead and Invincible. They put out Creepshow too. And it's also overseen by who's it? I can't think. The guy that, not Greg Berlanti, but he's also his name probably be up in here. Greg Nicotero, Robert Kirkman.
That Invincible, that's that superhero shit, yeah?
Yep. By Skybound.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, Invincible, Walking Dead by Skybound Entertainment, and Creepshow. The end about the comic books, that's the next thing I'm submitting to after I get separated at Death Done for Epitaph from the Abyss. I got a different story I'm going to work on for Creepshow, only because if Epitaph from the Abyss, if my separated at Death gets accepted there, then obviously I can't use it to submit the Creepshow because it'll be used for Epitaph. So I got a different story already planned out for Creepshow. Try to submit to that and see if I can talk to some people I know, a couple people I know at Image, the top people at Image and what have you, because I think they don't have submission guidelines for Skybound as far as I know. I think somebody said that you'd have to talk to Skybound at actual conventions, and I don't know any conventions around here that's gonna have Skybound people. So I'm gonna see if I could just yank a few chains and what have you, talk to a few people and see if they can get me a meet or a submission with somebody at Skybound for Creepshow. If not, I'll just find out the next time a convention's close by or somewhere within traveling distance that Skybound's gonna be at, then I'll take my portfolio with me and try to get in Creepshow. So there you go.
Just bribe their PA.
Yeah,
just bribe their PA.
Have some young blood. That's it.
Hey V, don't you have like some art? I know it's probably not. Don't you have some art?
Oh, and it has to do with NBK. Thank you for reminding me too. Yes, the NBK. I wish those posters were here right now, but they're coming in the mail. Josh sent them out, but I can't forget about that. I'm pretty sure George he'll be pretty miffed if I didn't plug this, because aside from performing at the NBK show, George is a big comic book fan along with Jamie. I'm jealous of George. He went to a Las Vegas comic book convention, met Rob Liefeld, got his autograph, bought some work from him and everything and what have you. I was like, you motherfucker. But hey, hopefully I'll be able to meet Rob too. Anyway, point is that I did EC style store work for George with the HOK stuff. I don't know if y'all seen it on my page because I posted it up with watermarks on there, so somebody can't just take the image, go print it off themselves. But it's a cover of HOK, the HOK first frightening issue and what have you. And I will get into more detail behind the scenes stuff, but again, want to make sure that things are official before saying anything. But it is up in the air right now, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, what is official is the artwork that's going to be at the NBK show that I did. It's a HOK style cover for them, like Tales from the Crypts or EC style. And there's also some splash pages too. And for people not familiar with what splash pages are, the first page that you generally see on a comic book, when it's a full page with no panels, that one got panels, but for purpose right here, a whole picture, just one image real big in the first page of the comic book is called a splash page. So I made a splash page of each of the respective members of HOK. I got Mr. Bones bringing in a story called A Home Sweet Home. Then there's a splash page of Hectic. and he's introducing a story called Head Trauma, and then I got the RLC introducing a story called Nosferatu. It looks like it's a real comic book and everything and what have you, but right now it's nothing but the 3 splash pages are 11 by 17s you can get for $10 at the show, and the bigger poster, that's the comic cover of the HOK style, is $15. You can get those at the show. We have them to sell along with NBK merchandise and what have you. And sorry for taking up time talking. Y'all on.
Hey man,
You're supposed to be on here taking up time talking, bro.
Yeah, that's the
whole
thing.
point.
That's why we have you here.
About the HOK prints too. God
Okay, well, I mean,
those are mad dope, by the way. Mad dope.
Yeah.
He spent a lot of time talking about bullshit. That's my boy. I can tell him that. He didn't spend enough time talking about how fucking dope these are that he drew up. Dude's mad talented, but
Hey, Sinister
like
is a talker, though.
made for that. It's almost like his art is made for that.
I'm trying not to be tonight. Go ahead, Adam.
You good?
I was concise and fucking to the point. The shit's dope. I think that they're gonna fucking sell like hotcakes at this show. I can't wait to get my hands on some of them.
I can't wait to get the
motherfuckers.
They should be in the mail this week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. And I'll show a picture of them online. But yeah, that's what it was. I had to talk to Joe. I had to get permission to do that though, because HOK is not my intellectual property. So I had to talk to George about that, see if Jamie and Paul was cool with it. I guess I got the green light, and they will be sold at the show. So when you get to the NBK show, make sure you pick up the merchandise from HOK, the 31 CD, the jersey.
Have y'all seen them?
Huh?
Have y'all seen them? Because you posted them, didn't you, V? Or like
yeah,
posted or whatever.
I wish I had like a color print, but like I said, I try to move fast and everything. The only thing I got is there a way to put a picture up in here? I mean, I could.
If you send it to Harvester, if you inbox it to Harvester, he can probably throw it up.
You inbox it to me.
All right.
If you send it to me, I'll send it to him.
Posted it on Facebook, V.
All right. What's your Facebook? Oh, can I send it to Bootleg?
Send them to me and I'll send them to him. I can do it real quick.
All right, let me grab my phone. Oh no, my phone was right here. Yeah, y'all go ahead and talk. I'll square that away real quick. But that's about it. Buy the HOK merchandise. We got the NBK merchandise there too. Buy Michigan Misfits. Support everybody, but also the NBK post. No, not NBK posters. HOK posters. Front cover, 3 splash pages, 11 by 17, bigger poster, will be sold at the NBK show. Y'all go ahead. I'm going to square Bootleg away real quick.
All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to say real quick, you said DD214, and I would like to say thank you for your service.
Oh, that DB214? Oh, yeah. You're welcome. I wish I could go back into the military to square a few things away, but this stuff you learn once you're out the service, and it's kind of like, well, maybe next lifetime, but if I could do it again, I would. Longer.
That was really nice, Harvester.
That thing that you were saying about that reggae porta potty. All right, I love it. I'm loving it. Everybody always tells me the gathering.
You would have loved it if you would have fucking had to go take a shit in there. You wouldn't have loved it, I bet.
I'd have fucking
maybe you would have. I don't know.
Oh, I would have wandered off into the woods.
I'd have washed my fucking hands in it. Yes.
No, dude, like the reason gathering porta potties get brought up so much is one, because a lot of the guests we have on here are gathering veterans, and two, gathering porta potties are fucking terrible. Like I've literally seen the shit stacked up above the fucking seat like that. People had to just hover there and do it on purpose to add to the pile.
Johnny P told us that he went to one in Chicago or something like that, and he said they put mattresses in there and the dudes are trying to live in these things. Hilarious. Well, not funny for them, but funny for me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny. If it's not you, I would laugh at it too.
And Bootleg, I just sent them to you.
Yeah, let me get
Yeah, he got them. That's why he's froze up.
Oh, okay.
He's looking in his phone.
All right, so what else we got here? You know, you got us too and everything. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and make a plug. So he's not here tonight, but Defect and I got a little side project that's in the works. We actually have some real tracks done for that is not the definition of insanity, but a side project that's more along the lines of NBK. So it'll be Boone Helm and Ed Kemper, an EP that will be straight wicked shit. It's going to be right along the vein of all the rest of the NBK albums. Like I said, we're almost done with it. If we just give it a nice few weeks of good hard
polishing
work, that album's done. Yep. So we got that coming. We did release an album now a couple years ago, but promoted it like shit, so you guys might not have heard yet. But it's called The Definition of Insanity. There's a very, very thin line between genius and insanity is the name of the album. It's me and Defect as Defect and Staples. It's dope as fuck. Like I said, we just suck at promoting it, so it really has never got its due, but it's out there. It lives on Bandcamp. You can go on there.
I feel it.
It's a good one. I've heard it.
I suck at promotion too, sir.
Thank you. We did a lot of work, man. It took us a long time. Life got in the way, of course, as it always does. So it took us a little bit longer to get it out there than we would have liked, but better late than never. So that's out there. And again, yeah, like I said, we're working on another one of those. Bedlam's still alive and breathing. That's something me and Madness still talk a lot. We actually have ideas, hooks in the works for songs, things actually recorded that are really rough drafts, but nothing that we've given enough time to yet to really make it official. But that's still not dead. That will be something that's coming out in the near future as well for me. So
hell yeah.
I think that's about it, though. Other than that, the NBK show, this one coming up, this is, a bit of a bucket list for me. Like I said, being at that show, I never got to share a stage with Jamie, Paul, and Brian. You know what I mean? With the three, we toured as Bedlam with HOK Tour, HOK2, all over the place, but we never, did I get to perform. Kurt did as KGP, but so for me, this is some bucket list shit and actually coming full circle and getting
It's
to
dope.
awesome. And the fact that it's the three of us, me, V, and Defect is even more dope, man, because we've been down now again since 24 years almost. So 25
I
years.
feel it. I feel it.
Just funny how shit works, man. And I feel better than ever. I feel healthy. I feel ready to do this. I know V feels the same way. I know D feels the same way. So I know, my cousin Kurt, he's getting healthy again. It's all, the wicked shit never dies. The wicked shit never fucking dies. So
are you nervous? Are you nervous? Are you either of you nervous about this show that's coming up? I'm not. I feel like I don't get nervous until maybe it's just before the show or until I see the crowd and I kind of see I don't know, we might be the first ones up. So that's a little bit nerve-wracking sometimes, depending on what the crowd looks like and just the energy you feel from them. Sometimes it might be just cold and quiet, and then your boy might get a little nervous. But if I feel just energy from the crowd, fuck no, I'm not nervous. I beg to get up there. I can't wait to fucking get up there. Especially if there's some bitches in the crowd, because I want to get up there before they leave. Because 9 times out of 10, there's some bullshit ass acts coming up. They're going to fuck up everything and they're going to leave. So I sometimes want to get up there sooner than later just for that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I've been to when Rob Zombie first went and became white, or when he first became Rob Zombie, right? When he dropped the whole White Zombie thing. And I went to one of his first concerts and they had Fear Factory, which is a dope band, right? They were opening. And then they put fucking Monster Magnet in the middle.
Oh, shit.
What the fuck were they thinking? I'm telling you, half the crowd went and took a shit, I think, when Monster Magnet was up.
You know what the problem is, man? I'm not throwing shade on anybody. maybe I am throwing shade at some people, and you know who the fuck you are, but there's some people out here that, and there's nothing wrong with pay to play. I believe that you should pay some dues to play. I believe that if you are getting the opportunity to play in front of a big crowd of people and you haven't paid any dues to do that, and all you've done is release music online and do some Facebook posts and blah, fuck yeah, you should pay to play that show. But when you got these dudes out here, these promoters out here that are just, it don't matter who the fuck you are, come with your $300 and we're gonna put you up, and I'm gonna find 15 of you fucking lame cocksuckers to put on the stage. That's when you see this shit, and it's frustrating to me. And all I do is sit back and watch it happen, and we all sit back and watch it happen, really, because it's just the name of the game. But at the same time,
Oh
man,
yeah, when there's like 15 openers to pay the bill.
and they all suck, and they're internet rappers. Like, everybody's a rapper nowadays, so you can find motherfuckers easily off the streets that will, oh yeah, fuck you already, and they don't even know what they're paying for because they don't even know what dues are. You know, so they just pay the money and assume like, hey, that's the way it goes. But sorry. You know,
no, don't be sorry, man. It is what it is.
I don't need to rant and piss and moan about the shit, but it happens a lot.
That's why we like this show, though, man. It gives people a chance to, like, I mean, you guys came from the old school days. I wanted to bring this up real quick. Dude, Staples, I was up in Chicago for the Hatchet Rising tour, and the Bedlam Street team was there so thick that you couldn't go around the block without getting hit. More than once, dude. That's how I found out about Bedlam. Like, you guys fucking did it right back then and got the word out when all you guys could do is just sit up in Michigan and just hope you could do it as good as you could up there. But you moved around and you did what you could. Go ahead, Thing.
I would not be doing music if it was not for Bedlam. Just saying.
Yeah.
I've been fucking with Bedlam since fucking back in the day. I've been friends with Kurt on since MySpace.
You know, we worked, man. There wasn't a group. Actually, that's how I met V. We were handing out flyers at the Saginaw Mall, like we used to do all the time. We would just go up to the mall and put our shit in people's windshield wipers, put flyers in windshield wipers, and just until the cops either came in or somebody buzzed or somebody said something. But one time we were in the mall handing out flyers, and we saw security.
Yeah.
And
I was like, y'all
renting commentators.
Yeah, it's Prozac and him. Told him to come this way because I was working at Aladdin's Castle at the time. It was an arcade.
And he knew who we were, though. He knew. He said, he was like, we had our flyers, and he was like, what do you guys get? And we gave him a flyer, and he was like, oh, you're Bedlam, right? And he was like, oh, so you must be Prozac, and you must be Staples. And we're like, oh, fuck. We're like, holy shit, this dude knows who we are. So he's like, come on, I'll sneak you guys out of here. So he took us back through the mall, through the back way, through the arcade, and got us out to the parking lot. And but yeah, that's how we met. And then we needed a place to make a record, and V was like, come down to Ghetto Records, man. We got you here. And Chemical 2, that's how Chemical 2 was made. I mean, V produced and engineered.
Hey, don't forget
pretty much the whole album.
It was a half. James did one half, and I did the other half of the album.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would have been what, V? So that would have been 2000.
2000. Well, it started in 2000, and we finished it by mid 2001.
Okay.
Well, no, Chemical 2, we finished by early 2001, and Shock Treatment was mid 2001 because that's when I got let go from Ghetto Records.
But that's what we did. And I remember hearing something one day that Violent J said, and I don't know who remembered it, Prozac probably, but somebody, Violent J said, you know, if you want 1,000 people, or if you want 100 people at your show, hand out 1,000 flyers. And that was, there was nothing, and to this day, really, I mean, that still is true, even with Facebook, because people will scroll past your shit, but it'll be a lot harder for them to scroll past you being in there. They can't fucking get you out of their face. You know, when you hand them a flyer, sure, they might throw it away. Sure, they might say, fuck this, I'm not going. But you got in their face. There's nothing. you know, your odds are then 1 in 10, right? One of these people will read your shit and they might go to your show. But I don't think there's ever been anything
Exactly.
true about the underground said. Like, if you want 100 motherfuckers at your show, be ready to hand out. And if you're sitting there wondering why you don't have 100 motherfuckers at your show, it's probably because you didn't hand out 1,000 flyers.
It's that lack of promo, and people wonder what the fuck happened.
They do, man.
When I got that flyer, dude.
They handed me a flyer up at the mall. That's how I ended up seeing Bedlam show and everything. I was like, okay, told James about it and Ray, who ran Ghetto Records and everything. But I ended up going to the show at Jamestown Hall. I went there and I was like, what the fuck? This shit crazy as hell. And I remember that's the first time I seen Adam jump off of a stage dive off of a speaker in Jamestown Hall. And I was like, this shit crazy, but I like it though. It was my speed, not so much the rest of Ghetto Records. But then when I seen that and then heard their contract was up from the prior label they was with, I was fighting tooth and nail to get them on Ghetto Records. Man, when I say I was fighting tooth and nail, a lot of arguments, a lot of this and that, but finally got them up there and shit.
Yeah, it was quite the album to make. I'll tell you that. I mean, we all
put them up there, man.
What's up?
He's got those photos ready.
Oh yeah, put those photos up. There you go.
Yeah.
Where'd that go? When that son of
And then he lost them. We're so organized here.
Ah, yes, you can see him, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's one. You want to talk a little bit about this one here?
All right, this one was an ROC, the Pumpkin Patch, and again, I didn't have any stories like laid out for him. I was just thinking, all right, let me get an introduction going so I had something to do as opposed to just doing like a regular big, what they call them in the industry is either splash pages or pinups. Splash pages are for comic books. Pinups are like poster style stuff. I didn't just want to do like a regular poster. I wanted it to stand out. So I was like, rather than, give people an image that they could just look at, stare at, and then walk away, I'll give them something that not only do they stare at, but they can read right there. So that's why I gave them dialogue, texting, and as far as
that makes them look at it longer.
Yeah. And as far as the titles of the stories, I just went by the names of the songs. I would go with Home Sweet Home, Head Trauma, and Nosferatu.
All right, and we got this one here. This must be your cover, right?
Yep, that's. I did some artwork before for George and Jamie, and they put it up on a page. Matter of fact, Twisted put it up on the page when I was at a show. I think it might have been Jaeger Slam back in 2022 when they put it up, and I was thinking, okay, I'm glad they put it up again, because originally I want to do this artwork just for them to put it up on the page again, but took it a step further and was trying to propose an actual comic book to George and see would they be willing and interested in putting out a comic book that I could do the artwork for. Told them that my company Stormbrook, we'd do the whole comic book and we could talk about the particulars and everything, but they didn't do nothing but just probably pay for the cost of pressing and distribution, but we'll take care of the creation of the artwork and the whole 9 yards, writing. And if Jamie or Paul had any ideas, or even Brian had ideas they want to contribute, just send them that way. I'll plot them out and like script them out and make a story of it. But this cover right here, and I heard about the House of Crazy show, and I was like, well, let me do something again just for the season of Halloween. But this right here ended up turning into a whole thing of doing comic book style. So nothing too much there except Jamie and the Michael Myers thing, because Michael Myers is his favorite serial killer. Paul and Freddie and Brian and Paul and Jason, my bad, and Brian and Freddie. And sorry for using their real names. Let me stop that. It's just I got the knowing people by their real names, but let me stop that and get back to using their pseudo.
I'll feel it, bro.
Yeah, it's
I'll feel it.
Brother.
When you meet somebody by their government, it's hard sometimes not to be like, oh yeah, that's da-da-da.
Yeah. And this one right here, Madrox. Again, I started with this one because I was thinking after I did the cover, I was like, you know what? I should just take it a step further and actually do something different that I haven't done before. And that's actually make a splash page with that. So with Madrox, I did this right here, Home Sweet Home, made a story about somebody running from the House of Crazies up in there. It'll get explored further only if George and Paul and Jamie and Brian want to do a comic book. But aside from that, that's about as much story you're gonna get right there. And each like Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror, they always had some place where they reside at, where the Crypt Keeper was in the Crypt of Terror, Vault Keeper was in the Vault of Horror, and the Old Witch was in the Old Witch's niche. So this one, like Brian was in the Pumpkin Patch, Jamie is in the Boneyard, and if you bring up the next one and last one, yeah, there goes Paul. He's in the gas chamber, and again, I was up to trying to do something different and just ran with trying to have an actual story with this and put put a front page story behind it. Again, if they want to bring out a comic book, Stonework is willing to do it. We'll take care of the heavy lifting. The only thing they got to do is take care of the cost of press and distribution, and we can work out the particulars there. Because I mean, we already worked out the particulars with this artwork. Again, this will be available at the NBK show. $10 for the 11x17, $15 for the full poster, all in color, all rich, vivid, detailed gloss, and you can get it at the HOK show.
HOK.
Yeah, HOK show.
There you go.
Right.
Well, that artwork's dope. So I mean,
Thank you, I
whoever
appreciate
gets
that.
whoever gets a print's pretty lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They will only be sold at the HOK show. Once the HOK show is sold out, unless George requests some more personnel. I mean, I even take it one step further. I just send George the files and everything. They can print as much as they want to and what have you. And I'm like, and you hear me right now. Hey, George can have them. Hey, do what you will with it, because I look at it like this. The more people that get the artwork, hey, the more get out there and what have you, it'll help me out, what have you. Not that I work for free or anything like that, but I look at it like it's their intellectual property. I'm just doing it because, hey, I like drawing, trying to get out there and what have you, and I got other stuff to take care of costs. So if they want to print more of it, I'll send them the files, have at it. Y'all can print as much as y'all want to. We good to go and everything. Because, again, I already explained what I got going on down the line anyway. Creep Show, Epitaphs, Young Blood, Soldier Blade. So I got stuff to keep me busy. So again, you will only get these posters at the HOK show. Aside from that, they won't be sold on the Stonework website. If they're sold on the M&E website, it's only because me and George talked. I gave them the files, and they're printing them up and they're selling them. So there you go.
Yeah, it's dope, man. Yeah, I mean, you're really a grinder, huh? You really just get in there and just lock down.
That's all he does is work, bruh.
And then he
Nobody works
working out
harder.
too.
I don't know when he sleeps, man.
He's in the Guinness
nobody
World
works
Record for
I
the
don't.
exercise he does.
Yeah, that's all we do. Hey, I'm the creative mind behind Stonework. Josh is the social media manager. Christy is the liaison that goes finding opportunity. Clifton is our top flight MC who's making a lot of noise. He is making a man. Clifton's dope. James is the secondary engineer. Well, actually, he's a primary engineer because he does more engineering than I do. I just do it on my own stuff. James handles the engineer primarily for everything that we do. He handled bars. He handled a lot of Clifton's release. We have another guy on there named Gabriel Had. He's kind of the secondary musician, plays guitars, bass, and he's a real technical. He's like Rain Man when it comes to music. Like, if you sit and have a conversation with him about music, he will go on. Like, you seen that meme with the lady that I guess trying to figure out a problem, whatever, got the math equations in front of her eyes, and she's looking off to the side, the lady with the blonde hair. Y'all seen that meme? That's exactly how Gabe is with you. You'll just see him talking a bunch of musical notes and scales and everything in front of him. And I'm like, he goes deep into music. He's with us. And there's also Shay. These are my shout outs. So in case y'all ask, and I don't say them later, these are the shout outs right now. Shay, she's the youngest. We're developing her into Stoneworks A&R. And so basically, in order to do any business with Stoneworks, she'll be the person to see. Unless I know you personally, then you don't got to worry about that. You just hit me up or hit Josh up. Hey, can you do this? Yeah, no problem. And there's somebody else we want to bring on, but we got to have a sit down and talk with them first before officiating anything. But she is really dope. She's helping with a lot of the editing that we got going on, with books that we have planned for the end of next year, a book series called Eternal Worlds, in the same vein as Harry Potter and Game of Thrones, but it's a science fiction fantasy novel is set on another world in a distant galaxy with beings that have rings infused with powers, and it's kind of a classic battle between good and evil. A lot of mechs, robots, warlords, warlocks, demons, devils, cannibals, and everything. And she's helping me write all this too. We're working on the first book right now to tighten that up. And she's also helping me with comic books too. She had, I guess she ended up getting a doctorate or something like, or a degree, something. I gotta ask her about that, but she recently got it for horror literature and everything. She, I guess, grew up in comics. She's very versed in comics and what have you. And I'm excited to see what she can help me do with Soldier Blade and Creep Show and all this other stuff got going. We got a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, let me just name this. I'll just say the name 6. I'm not going to go into detail because, again, don't want to have it drag too long. But Fitness Fantasy, I call it Billustrations. Now, it's a conglomeration of all my artwork involving Daniverse, which is a superhero line. It could be worse, and any illustrations I do for draw-offs or whatever. There's the video game music division where we're working on 3 titles right now. One's Vigilante Strike. There's Area 51 Music, V Sinister, NBK. James Alias is coming out with something. He's working on something. Clifton Durrell. He has, I want to plug this right now, has an upcoming project called Uncle Blurred. Clifton Durrell, if you don't know Clifton Durrell, get up on, he is, I'll share a story after I get through with this about what happened at the gathering issue with Clifton Durrell. But that's Area 51 Music. I already mentioned it could be worse. It's a comic strip online trying to get also distribution through hopefully some syndication and also get a National Cartoonist Society. And last would be, shit, I think that's it. Soldier Blade, it could be worse. Eternal Worlds. I already mentioned Eternal Worlds. Video game, music, fitness, fantasy. Yep, that's it. That's everything.
Now, you got a lot of passion for that shit, man. That's good to see, man. You know.
Oh yeah, I love doing it. And Clifton Durrell, dope MC. Can't shout this dude out enough. What happened at the gathering? Now, we was doing bars at the gathering. That's another group project I'm involved in, featuring Zitro, Tierra Diaz, Clifton Durrell, and myself. And what happened at the gathering, the day of, or the night of, when we were supposed to perform headline a Ship of Fools at the gathering, Clifton was walking around with another homie of ours, mutual friend, Ben Stockwell. Y'all heard of Stockwell?
I know Stockwell.
Yeah, Stockwell, dope dude. He was walking around with Stockwell, and I guess they were over by the Ship of Fools, and they were having some kind of MC contest there. So Clifton entered impromptu. He swept the other MCs from what I heard, because I was up there doing something else, but he told me about it. He swept the MC contest there, took the prize. I think it was a jersey and something else. So me, Stockwell, and him were walking along, and we were going to the big tent. I forgot what they called the tent, but Zitro was there, Tierra was there, and we was going to meet up with them so we could head over to Zitro's bed and breakfast where they were at to practice, go over the routine before performing that night with bars. So before doing that, they had an MC contest there. I want to say, who's the newest person they got on Psychopathic? It's a DJ. I can't think of his name.
Carlito or...
Oh no, not DJ Carlito. That's Rude Boy. Definitely not DJ. I forgot his name, but it's somebody new. Guy with long hair, wears a beanie, has a big chain on. I can't think of his name, but anyway, they had a British dude up there and 2 other Psychopathic personnel running the contest. So Clifton, we was just standing off to the side. It was me, Clifton, and Zitro. I even got the video on my page too. Probably you got to scroll down long to see it, but we're just standing there watching the entrance and everything. Clifton getting his itch in. You can see him. He just getting it. He feeling it. I'm like, okay, you gonna get up there? And he says, he don't know. I'm like, dude, let me know before they close it out. I go ask a lady. Shout out to Heather too. She was the one that got Clifton up there. So they said Clifton said he won't get up in there. So I ran to Heather and asked her, hey, can y'all get Clifton in on there? She said they were all closed out and everything. But then I guess some click, she changed her mind, said, all right, let me hear you spit. So Clifton spit some for her, and her eyes were wide and everything. So she made a beeline up to the stage, talked to the judges and everything. You can see her hands moving, this and that, point toward Clifton. I'm like, damn, okay, she like what Clifton spit and everything. So next thing you know, she ran down, gave Clifton a pass or whatever and everything, and said, you're on, and do what you just did up on the stage and everything. He did something different though. So I guess I'm thinking Clifton was gonna go last because it was a long line of MCs and everything. But no, Clifton ended up going, I think, third or fourth and what have you. They had other MCs going up there. So me and Zitcho, like, hell yeah, represent for bars and everything. We just sit with our hands folded, everybody watching. Heather got her hands together, like she just excited. I'm like, okay, I know Clifton finna eat these mugs up. So they played the deep cover beat by Dre and Snoop. Use that instrumental. And Clifton got up there, and you should have seen the crowd. The crowd at first, for a couple seconds or so, they were quiet, just listening to everything. Clifton just going on and everything, just walking back and just energetic, spitting. Next thing you know, they crowd like, oh yeah! I was like, God damn. Clifton ate that crowd up and everything. I got the video. I'm not lying to you. I got the video up on my page. I had to find it, reposted on my page and the V Sinister page, but you can see the reaction. Crowd went ballistic. Judge is like, God damn, man. Clifton just ate that crowd up. He didn't win the contest though. I forgot. I think it was an MC called Legless or something like that. Dude in a wheelchair didn't have no legs or something like that. He won and what have you, but Clifton though.
He runs around with those Gods of Chaos guys. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
He ran around with the Gods of Chaos.
Yeah, he ended up winning the whole thing, but Clifton went the distance though. He did. He was just MCs coming up, just knocking him down till he got the Legless, and then but they gave him another chance to redeem himself though. But yeah, Legless, yeah, he ended up getting it though. But yeah, Clifton.
Yeah, he got some bars.
He do. I ain't gonna lie. Like, because that's the thing right there. Stormrook, I mean, there's a lot of underground labels right now that got this act, that act, and everything. And I'm real particular about just going out getting a whole bunch of acts because we don't want a label bloated with a bunch of artists. And that's what happened with Fallen Entertainment. Was as dope as Fallen was back in the day, the problem I felt and seen was that we had a bunch of artists and everybody, you know, was kind of waiting their turn, unity and everything. But then we had all these artists, and then Priest wanted to focus on some artists that weren't even on the label, I guess, from different areas, and it was just too many artists. So the approach I'm taking with Stormrook is basically we just keep the roster real. I mean, I can't say roster. It's just as far as artistry go, it's me, it's Clifton Durrell, and James whenever he gets his project done, because this is his swan song. He's hanging up the mic for good. He's just doing some songs here and there and primarily concentrating on production and I guess video game review or something for what I talked to him about. He's getting a podcast together for that, but he's moving on. But I plan on moving on myself. I made a post about it, said that music, my time is winding up and what have you. I talked about it at the gathering, and that's what Class talked to me, said, hey, that post you made, hey, before you bow out, we got to get a project together and everything. And I think I talked to Adam about that. You want to do a project too. But yeah, my time in music is almost over. Not that I don't have no more interesting music. I still got some stuff coming out. But hey, I got comic books, I got video game music, fitness stuff, write novels, comic strips, and what have you that could keep me going for 20 years and more and what have you. And music, I don't plan on being 60-some years old still behind the mic and everything. If I'm doing anything in music, it'll be more or less probably engineering or something like that. But for right now, I got to get Clifton ready to be the flagship bearer for Stormrook and anybody else we bring on the label too. But he will be the flagship person. I'm just going to be the person at the top trying to steer the ship in the right direction, avoid all icebergs or other warships and pirates and everything, and just retire. That is the ultimate goal for me and the other people involved, to retire, live lovely. We don't have to do a 9 to 5 or anything like that. And what we're doing right now is what is working. And I mean, it's not so much we're just hoping this dream come true. We're just grinding without a plan. We got a plan. I got a plan already set from A all the way to Z. Every year, I got everything mapped out, what we do year by year, month by month. Like when you say I grind and work, it's only because I got it all mapped out. It's like this. If you plan on going somewhere, you know where you want to go, but you don't have a map or a GPS, how you going to get there?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's my problem.
Yeah,
I
so
can't read maps.
Yeah, so if you want to get somewhere, you know where you want to go, you know what's there, you got to figure out how to get there. So the schedule and everything I got is kind of a GPS and a map. And it basically points us how to get there, but there are certain steps you got to take. You got to
make a motivational album, V.
I should make a
Yeah,
I know, right? I would buy that shit because, like, motivation is my problem.
Right now.
I feel like you could sit in front of a crowd of, like, you know, young people, and you could really amp them up and get them, like, motivated for shit, man.
He just like sells work, right? Like he's so hype. You want to. I need another fucking project.
It's like this. I don't know how much y'all follow what was going on with Stormrook. Maybe Adam could see and what have you. If you look at it like this, in 2020, Stormrook wasn't even no. Y'all probably didn't know what the hell a Stormrook was or this, that, and the other. Y'all probably just like whatever, another label going, whatever, and everything.
I didn't find out about it until Camp Zool 1.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been around forever. I pay attention.
Too. I missed one. That was in November. 2, though, I was there. But in 2020, when Area 51 Music made the transition to Stormrook, nobody knew who the hell what a Stormrook was, what have you. The only thing we released was Haunt of Fear 3, Alice 3 single, NBK, and what have you. And we were trying to get on shows, trying to do this, trying to do that. Nobody was asking me to get on tour. We didn't have Clifton. It was just me, Josh, and Christy. And now in 2024, this year started out great. And like I said, it started from 2020. Nobody knowing who the hell I was to 2024. Got asked to be on 3 tours. I missed one of them because I had COVID. I made another one, co-headlining with Eternal from Wu-Tang Killer Bees and what have you. I got asked to do Lethal Weekend 7. Did a gathering, headlining a Ship of Fools, and got a solo set along with a bunch of other shows. And the week of the NBK show, my bad, HOK show, I'm sorry about that, HOK show, that Friday I got a show in Lansing, and then a couple weeks later got a show in Ohio, a couple weeks later got a show in Davenport, and that's for November. And December got Jaeger Slam and a few other things coming up. Went to Astronomicon. There's just every month is always a show or something. And if I end up missing a show, like the last show I missed was the Dumpster Baby tour with my homies James, Gay, Swoop, and Xander. Oh, and yeah, Womp Father, yeah, you would, yeah. Hey, I'm sorry I missed that show. I was sick. Yeah, Clifton Durrell, I heard, held it down though. He held the first night down. I missed that show because I was sick, but yeah, I only missed that show. It was another show with Lethal Records. Shout out to Jason Flores. I missed because I had COVID. And it was another show I missed only because of my irresponsibility and not getting it together. So I tightened it up and got every single thing on schedule. So yeah,
I have a hard time believing you were irresponsible.
Being asked to be on a whole bunch of shows. And again, Rob Lightfield liking what we doing and what have you. So I say the trajectory is going up. Again, if you know where you want to go to, the only way you're going to get there is a map or GPS. If you don't have no map, metaphorically, or no GPS, how you know where you're going to go? How you know how to get there if you don't know where you're going or how to get there?
Is it okay if we're fat, B? Can we get there if we're fat? Is it okay if we're fat?
Man, you could be 300 pounds or whatever. The thing is
that I'm good. Ha ha.
Shit, it's like this. If you want the HORDERCAST to be the biggest thing, you got to picture the HORDERCAST being the biggest thing. Now you got to figure out the logistics with it. How do we make the HORDERCAST the biggest thing? Once you figure out those logistics, then you implement it step by step, day by day, week by week, what you need to do to make sure that you already have a timeline in the future. By this date right here, I want HORDERCAST to be world renowned and everybody knows it, but it's a day off in the future. That gives you a lot of leeway right there to plan everything in between from now to that time right there, and plan for any mishaps that may come up so you can circumvent them and find a way around it. And then by the time you get, and you will see it rise up. That's what's going on with Stormwood. I plan already some years ahead where Stormwood needs to be in 2030. And from now to 2030, things have to happen in that order. And that's what's going on. Like in 2020, like Eric Larson is on my page. If y'all know who Eric Larson is, we finna ask the question again. Nobody? Okay, what about Savage Dragon? No, okay, y'all know, y'all never watched.
Sounds like you're making names up, V.
Huh?
Yeah, I think he's just like, he's got a calculator thing on his phone.
Like a
He just
random
hits it.
name generator.
Yeah,
A name generator, yeah. That's what he's
Have you
doing.
heard of fucking Sylvester?
Well,
You're
okay,
like
y'all
Papa
know-
Porcupine.
well, I put it this way.
Have you heard of Watch Ashtray?
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah,
like, it's
Oh,
like
God.
this. In 2020, Rob Lightfield didn't know me from the many other fans in there, from a can of paint and a speck of dirt and everything. Now, last week, he came, like I said, he came to my page. He could just simply looked at the picture, went about his business, went on, but he liked it. He liked what he seen right there. So now I'm on the radar with Rob Lightfield, and I would say with the CEO of M&E. I knew George from way back when he used to work with Sign and everything, but you know, he's up there. He too busy worried about what's going on with me and everything. I wasn't on his radar at all. Now, like I said, we've infrequently talk. I ain't gonna act like we best friends or anything like that. I'm not gonna be disingenuous or anything like that. I tell George the only time I hit him up is when it makes sense, or if I'm shooting shit with him about comics and everything. I'm not gonna sit up there like, hey George, what's up? How's your day? How's everything? No, if I hit George up, it's strictly about something, because he got a whole lot of people hitting him up and everything. And that's the thing you got to do with people that's in business. If you hit people up and you keep it business and you approach them on business and not expecting a free handout, if you go to somebody, say, like, if you want an MC or whatever on your music and everything, you shouldn't go to an MC saying, hey, I'm a big fan of yours, can you get on my album and this and that and everything. The first thing you should tell the MC is, how much would it cost you to get you on this particular project? You might be surprised. They be like, oh, okay, they came first with a price and what have you, as opposed to asking for a handout like a lot of other people do. And you be surprised. They might say, oh, no, it ain't gonna cost you nothing. Just send me your project, what you got and everything. I'm not
I always ask what that ticket is first.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say who was nice enough to do that, because I'm not gonna put them on blast or anything like that. And you know, what may be a price for some people may not be for another, but I just say that you're better off always going business first. You approach them with business, you might develop something right there, because first, you didn't come on no bullshit. You didn't come out there asking for a free handout. You came with business. You got a plan together. You have everything lined out, and they're like, oh, he got it together and everything. Okay, I can fuck with him and everything. So yeah, so that's how a lot of these relationships, I'm working with a plethora. I'm not gonna say nobody, because I don't want to be the name dropper or nothing like that. Matter of fact, sorry for dropping names. It's context. That's all it was context. It was context. But much to the point, I got a networking relationship with a lot of people. Not saying names, because not dropping names, but it was because it was business first. A friendship may develop. Hey, that's cool. Friendship developed, but it was always business first. They seen that you were serious about approaching them, so they took you serious, and they was willing to work with you, and anything could develop from there. But you always go with business first. If it ain't in your budget, don't bother them. Like, wait till it gets in your budget. Once you have a budget for them, then approach them. Hey, how much would it cost to get you on this and what have you? And then they'll see how serious you is based on the talk, instead of you going, hey, I'm a big fan, this and that. And can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay.
We can hear him.
again, V.
Where'd it
Yeah, I
go?
don't know what's going.
He's a ghost.
So long as y'all can hear me, I wind it up right here. You approach people with business, you'll get further being business minded than you will looking for a free handout. And again, if you want to get somewhere, you got to know where you're going to, and you got to make a metaphorical GPS in the map. Because how you gonna get to where you want to get to if you don't know how to get there?
Right.
Amen, brother.
Hey, man, we appreciate the advice, though, dude. I mean, anytime we can hear it from somebody that's been in the business as long as you have, man, doing what you're doing, and you're still doing it and making strides, doing more stuff. But we're gonna wind it down here at this point.
Sorry for talking
Guys,
so long. I apologize.
oh, it's okay. Like we said, man, we're here to let you guys talk.
That's what it's here. We're here for is for you guys to say whatever it is you want. If you want to talk about fucking
Right.
whatever, it doesn't even have to be about music. Just come on and talk about some shit.
Kinda. But
Yeah, I
Real
don't know what's
quick,
going on with the
why don't
camera,
we
but
where are the pages that people need to go at if they want to see your shit, man? Give it just right to the point. Tell us where we
Adam.
gotta go in case we're under a rock. Because if we don't know any of these names, so we might be under a rock here.
Okay, Adam, you can start.
You can find me and Defect at Do Insanity, pretty much on all social media. Just search Do Insanity. Bedlam, we're on Bandcamp. I don't think we have any physical hard copy albums left right now. Unfortunately, we got to press up more, but you can go on there and listen to all of our shit digitally through Bandcamp. Just look up Bedlam 989 maybe. But yeah, that's it for me.
All right, I'll wrap this up. You can find primarily a lot of stuff involved in Stonerook at www.stonerookstudios the Cineverse and stonerookstudios.com. You'll find everything I already mentioned, aforementioned before: Fitness Fantasy, Soldier Blade, Eternal Worlds, Vigilante Strike. All that is there. We're working on that. The next thing coming out with is John Doom. You'll find it up there too. Also NBK. You can find various projects of Clifton Durrell, V Sinister, and NBK on various social media: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Sound, whatever thing. Josh takes care of all that. I couldn't name off the top of my head, but if it's Apple Music or whatever you listen to, you will find it there. Josh takes care of it. Again, V Sinister, NBK, Clifton Durrell. Clifton Durrell has Uncle Blur coming out. NBK, Brotherhood is Satan. We're trying to make it jam-packed with that one. V Sinister, next projects from me is John Doom. Whole separate thing, video game, it was spitting over video game music, and the third gospel, Enoch's Concerto, Overture to Heaven and Hell. And that's about it. Outside to give a shout out, let me just run down the names and let's close it out. Shout out to Adam, Boomhelm, Defect, Ed Kemper, McNasty, Carl Grossman. Sorry about that. Let me close my eyes and say it. Frank Nitty, Ted Bundy, Class, Andre Chikatilo, Smalls One, Carol Fugatti, Gruesome, Ed Ging, Bloodshot, Charles Starkweather, James Alias, John Muhammad, Josh is Dennis Rader, Christy Thomas is Christy Gilbert. That's primary people right there. Also Shay, Joe Had, James Alias again, Clifton. Shout out to Amy Barton, aka Lissa Sir, Amy Barton. She's very instrumental in a lot of stuff we got going on, what we're doing right now. George Valakis, I hope I said his name right. Jamie, Paul, Brian, Chris, sorry about that, about putting y'all governments out there, but Blaze, J-Mo, ABK, Rob Liefeld, Eric Larson, Jim Valentino, Kathy Gaines Mifsud, Ron Jump from Mob Style, also Buckshot from Mob Style Camp. They the homies. Mandy and Squints, they the homies too. Zitro, Tier Diaz, Bars, Andy Sherman, Gary Goforth from his camp in Project Born and Monstar Entertainment.
Not everybody you know in your life, B. It's not
Yeah,
everybody you know in the
He's
fucking.
shouting them
I
all out.
I don't want people getting mad at me talking
He
about,
needs,
how could
he
you
needs
say that
somebody
about
to
me?
stop him sometime. That's my brother, and I love him.
But that's it.
But
That
he needs
was
somebody
it.
to stop him sometimes.
No,
He broke out the Rolodex and he was like,
He needs to get like a video like the Star Wars intro, and it's just
Yeah.
everybody he
Keep
knows.
going.
Ben
He's like, here it is.
Stockwell. Yeah, Ben Stockwell too. Can't forget Ben Stockwell, and also can't forget Rob Jumpsteady, because despite politics and everything, Rob still fuck with me and everything else. I wouldn't have been at the gathering this year.
He's
Rob,
good dude.
yeah. So Rob Jumpsteady, that's the homie too. And aside from that, that's it. If I forgot anybody, believe me, it's because we're out of time. We got to go. So just catch me on the next one. I'll shout y'all out first, and then we have the podcast.
I just want to say before we sign off, just again, shout out to our brother, Ed Kemper, who couldn't make it here tonight.
Yeah.
He's excited as fuck for this show. He'd be happy to come back on. You know, we'll do Definition of Insanity. We'll talk about the.
There you go.
I'll come back on in any way, talk about Bedlam, whatever. I'll be more. You guys were fucking awesome to kick it with. So, yeah.
I'd love to have you guys on some Bedlam shit.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, we would be happy to do that for sure.
and if anybody tonight's watching, we have a giveaway and it goes off tomorrow. There's going to be 2 winners. So get over on my page, like, share, comment, and you could be a winner for one of the fresh new HORDECAST shirts that like Wampy over here is wearing.
Ooh.
He's got it on. Oh, look at that. Oh, God.
Next month, we're doing a giveaway for this bad boy.
I ain't seen that in years.
Autograph.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, I bought that when it first came out too. I'm old as fuck.
Yeah. I feel you, Bree. I feel you.
But yeah.
So we appreciate you guys. You can also get yourself some Bad Touch gloves. If you go to Bad Touch Supply, put in the promo code WHIPSTICK, and you'll get 10% off your purchase for some badass gloves. Yeah, I got it in there without you have to remind me.
Yeah, I know. Good job. Good job.
All right. Again, thanks guys for being on.
We're actually proud of you for once, Bootleg.
Yeah. And we'll hit you up, man. We'll try to get you back on the show. And thanks for everything. We'll see you next time on the